This is Junk Drawer. Thanks for returning to my channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
Spain has announced a reform to its migration policy, which will grant residency and work permits to about 300,000 undocumented migrants each year for the next 3 years.
Living in the country illegally. Let that sit in. 300,000 new people living in the country legally will be granted work permits each year for the next 3 years. The country's immigration minister said Wednesday. Oh, just to let you know, this was November 2024, so 1 year already passed, and this started. The policy will take effect next May and aims to expand the country's aging workforce. Spain has remained largely open to receiving immigrants, and even as the other European nations seek to tighten their borders to illegal crossing and asylum seekers. This happened in 2024, and then it happened in 2025, which will be right now. I'm recording this of May right now, 5/9/2025. So this starts now. Every year, 300,000 illegal migrants are getting work permits right now. Spain needs around 250,000 registered foreign workers a year to maintain its welfare state. Migration Minister Elma Sazi, I don't think I pronounced your name right, said in an interview on Wednesday. She contended that the legalization policy is not aimed solely at cultural wealth and respect for human rights. It also prosperity. It is also for prosperity. Today we can say Spain is a better country, told national broadcast radio Naco del España, I think. Spain Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has often described his government's migration policies as a means to combat the country's low birth rate. Well, there's a reason for that. People are having a hard time making a living. Give people a living wage, and yeah, your birth rate will actually increase. The new policy, approved Tuesday by Sanchez's leftist minority coalition government, simplifies administration procedures for short and long-term visas and provides migrants with additional labor protections. Why would you need additional labor protections for migrants? Shouldn't you be protecting your people? Extends a visa previously offered to job seekers for 3 months to 1 year. So when they get it this month, they'll have it for a year. They're already here illegally. You think they won't, overstay that 1 year? They're illegally already. Canary Islands. Yeah, they don't want you going to the Canary Islands because that's the vacation town and that's their money. They don't want to see a bunch of freaking Africans rolling up on dinghies and boats and running into the country. That's scary. That scares some people, and some other people don't know what's going on. They think there's an invasion. Let's see. Last time some people just rolled up out of nowhere, and first people were looking at it, and then hey, guess what happened? Some paragliders with engines started shooting everyone up at a concert. The archipelagos off the coast of Africa is seen by many as a step towards continental Europe, with young men from Mali, Senegal, I can't pronounce that, Mauritania, and elsewhere embark on dangerous sea voyages. They're seeking better job opportunities abroad or fleeing violence and political instability at home. Oh, that's great. And most of these men are military age, combat capable. Some 54,000 immigrants had reached Spain this year by sea or land, according to the country's interior minister. The exact number of foreigners living in Spain illegally is not clear. Let's see, you're going to give out 300,000 illegal immigrants work visas. I think the number is pretty clear by your own statement. Okay, and it's probably even worse. Many such immigrants make a living in Spain's underground economy as fruit pickers. Wow, here in America, we got people like them too, the illegal Mexicans that work the farms. Because guess what? The farmers don't want to pay them a living wage. Why? Because the farmers are not getting paid their value of their product. Because if they were, they can actually pay Americans the money to pick the fruits, vegetables needed to be taken care of. Because guess what? Most blueberry pickers are actually paid pretty well because of the dangers of the spiders. Spain's underground economy as fruit pickers, caretakers, delivery drivers, or other low paid but essential jobs often passed over by Spaniards. No, you're basically, it's like here in America, they don't pay. Most restaurants have this weird thing where they don't pay an actual wage and it's legal somehow. They're like, oh, they make their money on tips. So they have to be, it's almost like you want these people to be extra kind to your customers because you're not paying them well, but somehow you make a living, but they can't, even if they come and show up to work and work 40 hours a week without tips. Think about it. The busser makes a living, the cook makes a living, and then some places, which it's not like, the waitresses have to share their tips with everyone else. Why not just pay everyone a living wage? Oh, it's right, because people won't go out and eat at your restaurant when you have to charge them $30 for a burger. Moving on. Without legal protections, they can be vulnerable to exploitation and abuse. Sazi said the new policy will help prevent such abuse and serve to combat mafias, fraud, and the violation of rights. Spain's economy is among the fastest growing in Europe in European Union this year, boosted in part by a strong rebound in tourism after the pandemic. Spain issued 1.3 million visas to foreigners. Okay. When you issue a visa to a foreigner, that means they're not illegal. They're coming in with a passport and they're staying there for a while. They have skills, or they're there on vacation and they're staying and living in some of these housing areas. That is not illegals, and those are not work permits. Do you understand the difference? A visa and a work permit, two different ball games. All I gotta say, explain why as I get into a deeper situation of what's going on. See, Spain will grant residency and work permits to 300,000 illegal immigrants living in the country illegally. We gotta make sure that, see, I love how they word things. Spain will grant residency and work permits to 300,000 migrants living in the country legally. I love how it was worded and not worded the other way around, where Spain will grant over 300,000 illegal immigrants will be granted work permits. But no, the way they worded it was Spain will grant 300,000 migrants living in the country illegally. It's like they're trying to word it in a way that's less bad. You're already committing a crime by being illegal in the country, and now you're going to give 300,000 work permits to these illegal immigrants and more protections.